What is going on, y'all, and welcome back to the Average Homeowners channel. Today, just a normal everyday day where we're going to have a conversation about Bermuda grass, how to take care of it, how to maintain it, how to not overcomplicate it, because a lot of people, especially on YouTube, like to overcomplicate Bermuda grass, and it's not that hard. So first, let me show you the front yard here. So this is how we're looking right now. Now, if you've followed my channel for any amount of time, you know how much time and effort I've put into getting this yard looking like this. And I'm gonna put up a video right here that shows how this yard looked last summer, right after we moved into this house, and it was brand new sod here and brand new seed in the back. And I have spent a year fertilizing, getting this grass the way I want it, getting the weeds out, getting the herbicides and the fungicides down, and really working towards having a good looking lawn. Now, this is not anywhere near where I want it yet. We still need to be able to level it. I'm having to mow it 3 inches, 2 3/4 to 3 1/4 throughout the year to keep it green and keep it so it doesn't have a ton of big scalp spots, because it's not incredibly level. It's a lumpy, bumpy builder lawn, and that's not going to change until we have time to go ahead and put the sand down. I'm actually going to have to bring in a backhoe, or not a backhoe, bring in a track hoe or a skid steer to do some leveling, because it's just so drastically bad in some areas. I mean, right now I'm standing in a 4-inch hole, so we've got a lot of work to do, but it's going to get done eventually. But all the neighbors have been asking me, how do you keep your yard looking so green when a lot of the other ones have scalp spots or they're just yellow? Some of them you can tell people are overwatering, especially right now because we've had a ton of rain lately. Well, the thing about Bermuda grass is it is an incredibly durable and resilient grass. Now, if you have a lumpy, bumpy lawn and you're trying to mow it down to 2 inches every time or 1.5 inches every time, you're going to have all kinds of scalp spots, and it's just not going to look great. But if you mow it, taking off no more than 1/3 at a time, don't take it down any further than where you can see that green leaf growing and it's got a good green root base to it, then you're going to be fine. Also, right now, my yard needs fertilizer incredibly bad. However, the average temperature during the day is above 90 degrees. And I don't like to fertilize personally if the temperature is anything above 85 degrees on average. I'm just too worried that I'm going to burn the lawn and set back all the progress we've had with it. That said, earlier this year, I did have a good dose of fertilizer go down when our average temperatures were around 75 degrees, and I put almost 1.5 doses on it because it was a slow release or extended release fertilizer, and so I'm not too worried that it's going to go barren or run out of nutrients anytime soon. I also mulch, and that puts nitrogen back into the soil. Another thing to consider when you're talking about Bermuda grass is the amount of water that it needs. Bermuda grass on average needs 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water every week. Now, mine tends to need a little bit different depending on the part of the yard. In the back, where I have coastal Bermuda and I've got seeded hybrid Bermuda growing, that needs about 1 inch or less a week, because that coastal Bermuda doesn't need as much as sodded hybrids. The Tifway 419 that we have in the front and in the swale in the back that tends to green up like this, that good golf course grass, it's going to need closer to your 1.25 inches every week. Now, the way that I like to water, and this is one thing that isn't controversial, but people do it different ways, is that I like to water my grass essentially once every 4 to 5 days and do it for 20 minutes per zone on my rotators and 10 minutes per zone on my fixed sprays. Now, if the ground is super dry when we go to water, we think it's not going to, or super wet, and I think it's not going to be able to absorb all the water, I will use a soak setting that I have on the Rainbird system. And if you have a Rainbird, you may have it in the app if you've got the mobile link. Get the app, go in there and see if you have a soak setting. And what this does is it rotates through your zones so that you can actually water for part of the time, and then it'll rotate to another zone and then come back, and it allows that zone to soak in and then come back and finish your watering time. This allows the water to penetrate the ground and you minimize your runoff. And the reason that is incredibly important is, especially after you put fertilizers, fungicides, herbicides down, you don't want to just water them in and run them off. You want to water them in and let them soak in so that they actually are able to do their job. If you have Bermuda grass and you are fertilizing right now and it's above 90 degrees, let me know in the comments how that's working for you, because I know a lot of people that do it and they just water it in a little extra and tend not to have any problems. But I want to get the opinion of the community here to see if I'm going to do it or not. And I may do it. I've got this little test lawn over here. And if you remember last year, the test lawn is where we tried out all kinds of different stuff. It's looking okay this year. Let me switch here. So this side of the yard is the test lawn, and you can see it's looking pretty good. We really need to get some leveling done. I've got a scalp line here where I just wasn't paying attention on the mower and it was on a dip. But we poured some concrete back here when we put the shop in. We had a ton of debris back here, so it really didn't get the love and attention that it normally does. But it looks pretty good. What do y'all think of that? 1 to 10, how's the test lawn looking? Ignore that stripe. It's coming in okay. And this is 2 days after a mow, so it's starting to get a little bit more uneven, but it looked really clean and crisp yesterday. But I think what we might do is fertilize this and put a good dose of nitrogen on it, but a slow release blend, maybe like a 19.84 or a 19.412, something slow release on it with limited quick release, and then give it a good watering in. Maybe, I've got all fixed sprayers over here, so maybe 10 minutes 3 times that day, and just see how well it works. But like I said, if you've done that, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know, do y'all like these kind of videos where it's just walking and talking, or do you prefer the ones where it's more doing stuff around the house, or building something, or setting up a kit and giving a review, or are you okay with all of them? Anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. Be safe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.